Welcome to Going Solar with Pivot Energy. In this video, you'll learn about types of solar energy, how solar energy works, and how solar energy is beneficial to you, your pocketbook, and most important, the planet. To stay up to date on all things commercial solar and community solar, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. The sun produces over 3 trillion watts of energy. That's a lot of power. The sun emits photons, which are essentially rays of energy that plants and trees use to grow. But these photons can also be used in a variety of applications to capture those photons and utilize that energy. But how, you may ask? There are a few ways that people use the sun and those photons to utilize and capture that energy. And there's different ways and terms to be utilized for those. These are passive solar, concentrated solar, solar thermal, and photovoltaic solar. We'll spend the most time on photovoltaic solar, as that's what we do here at Pivot Energy. But let's do a quick run through of the other forms of energy for a full view of what we're looking at. Don't worry about it. Soon enough, you'll see the light. Passive solar is perhaps the most common form of the sun's energy generation, and it's one you see every day. When the sun's energy passes through a window, it creates heat on the other side of that window. So it's used for passive solar heating. If you want to get rid of passive solar, just pull down a shade. It's pretty simple. But at the same time, architects are now using passive solar in their designs, in how they place balconies on their buildings to shade the sun in the summer months so that it does not heat the building. And in the winter months when the sun is lower, it actually allows for that heating to occur. Next up, let's talk about concentrated solar. So concentrated solar is really used in large scale applications. But effectively what's happening is the sun's photons are coming down and they are hitting a field of mirrors that is then concentrating that energy back up to a specific point that is then heating a liquid, and that heated liquid then goes down to spin a turbine and generate electricity. It's starting to be more common, but it's definitely used in large scale applications. And solar thermal's been around a long time. Jimmy Carter actually installed solar thermal on the White House in the 1970s. And effectively there, you have a number of tubes and you're passing water through those tubes. And as the photons of energy hit the water inside those tubes, it's heating that water. It's commonly used just for hot water applications. There is the ability to generate electricity with solar thermal, but you have to install a turbine, there's more moving parts and more going on. It's just a little bit more costly, and there's a much simpler way to do this. Which brings us to photovoltaic solar! Most simply stated, the panels convert the sun's energy and those photons into electricity. That electricity connects directly into the electricity grid, which you can think of as the entire electrical system that the power plants feed the energy into, and you consume that electricity on your side. One of the nice things about photovoltaic solar is that it's scalable. So it can be a very small application or a field of solar panels. And as part of our energy future, actually, it is now part of our energy present. So let's take a deeper dive. I'm feeling a bit like Bill Nye the Science Guy here, but I want to describe the photovoltaic effect. So each of these solar panels is made of individual cells, and each of those cells within that panel is typically made of silicon with layers of chemical elements within each of those cells. Each element within that layer has a different amount of electrons. One layer has far more electrons, and the other layer has far less, or holes within the system. And really, as the sun's energy or those photons strike the cell, it creates a chemical reaction within the layer of cells that excites or pushes out one of those electrons from the layer with more and pushes it into another layer. That electromotive force
is really what we're talking about. As the electrons move through these layers, there's little bands within the solar cell that energy is captured, or that electric current is captured at that point in time. And so that current is what we're referring to, what everybody talks about, which is electricity. So each of these cells are wired together within one panel. And then each of those panels is wired together to create an array that's capable of producing massive amounts of electricity. But solar panels generate what's referred to as direct current electricity. And the electric grid, or all of the electricity that we consume today, is consumed via alternating current electricity. And so this energy, after it flows out of the panel or out of the array, has to flow through an inverter that converts the electricity from direct current electricity to alternating current electricity. I mean, it all sounds really technical, but it's very simple. There's no moving parts. The entire array just sits there and generates electricity, and it's easy to install and scalable from something as small as a handheld solar charger to something as large as a solar farm with thousands of solar panels producing massive amounts of electricity. Now that you know how panels create electricity, the next question is, where does it go? It really depends on the type of installation or application for the solar array. If it is a utility scale or community solar application, the electricity flows from the panels or the array directly into the electricity grid. This is very similar to how existing coal and natural gas-fired power plants send that electricity into the grid. But when the solar array is connected to your building's electrical panel, a bit different things happen. The electricity first flows into your building, so it actually goes directly into your power outlets, to your lights, and most importantly, your computer. But what if you don't need it? A lot of times that electricity will flow directly into the electricity grid that is then utilized by other buildings and other consumers of electricity. The nice thing is most utilities across the country will give you a retail credit for that electricity that you push back to them under a policy called net metering, where you get a one-for-one credit for the electricity that you push back in compared to what you pull out from the grid. And the way you can think of it is the meter on your building is right now only going one direction, consuming electricity from the utility. When you go solar and you start producing your own power, you're pushing that energy back into the grid and getting credit for that energy going backwards. And that energy is then metered by the utility, very similar to the way an odometer on a vehicle may spin backwards if you're going backwards, except you and I both know that didn't work very well for Ferris Bueller. It works really well for solar. So your electricity that feeds back into the grid, you're getting one-for-one credit from the utility for that energy. So for example, if your solar system produced 10,000 kilowatt hours and you only consumed 9,000 kilowatt hours of energy in that month, the utility would not charge you for the 9,000 kilowatt hours, and the 1,000 extra would be carried forward in the next month for you to use if the system does not produce as much as you consume. So the next big question is, well, Eric, what happens at night? At night, obviously, the solar panels are not producing energy because they are not being struck by photons of the sun's energy, so they're not producing power. But that's okay because your building is still connected to the utility grid. And at night, you're just going to pull your energy from the grid, very similar to the way your building consumed energy before you went solar. So this is what is referred to as a grid-tied system, where you're using the solar energy during the day and you're using the utilities energy at night, and effectively zeroing out or getting a net zero electricity bill. The important thing to remember here is you will always have energy, whether the electricity is coming from the solar plant on your roof or coming from the power plant from the electric grid. You will still have power, and that power is provided to you instantaneously and without you noticing a difference between the two. You will always have energy, and utilities are really good at supplying a continuous amount of energy to you. And we are really good at supplying you with solar energy during the day. But you can use both. You can use electricity generated from a power plant that's burning coal or natural gas at night, and you can use all of your solar power and feed your extra electricity into the grid during the day. So let's recap. Solar panels generate clean, renewable electricity with no moving parts. You don't pay the utility for electricity you generate from solar. And your excess energy that feeds back to the grid in most cases receives a 1-for-1 credit. When the sun goes down, you start consuming energy from the utility just like you did before you even went solar because your building is still grid tied. There are so many reasons to go solar, from the various tax incentives and other benefits financially, to the fact that solar is better for the environment than burning fossil fuels to generate electricity. And in addition, it can save you money on your electricity bill and reduce your total operating costs. And you reach a point of having energy independence and hedging your energy costs from solar against the ever-rising costs of electricity. So it's a win-win, win-win. If you're interested in more information, please check out our 10 benefits of solar energy video and the other recommended videos that we have for you. So solar energy is way more accessible than you may have thought. We at Pivot Energy help companies analyze and plan and then build and maintain solar projects for their commercial buildings, on warehouses, grocery stores, on college campuses, and in apartments. We also build community solar gardens, which are large solar arrays that allow you to subscribe to buy that virtual clean energy for your facility. If you're interested in commercial solar or community solar, please visit our website at www.pivotenergy.net or just leave a comment below in the description and I'll get back to you. Based in Denver, Colorado, with over 300 plus days of sunshine, Pivot Energy is here to help you find a path forward to move to solar energy. And I would be honored to help you in that process. I hope you enjoyed our video and learned something new. If you did, give our video a thumbs and subscribe to our channel so you can get more information on solar. Hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. And if you have further questions or comments, leave them below or send me an email, as my email is located in the description as well. We'll see you next time on Going Solar with Pivot Energy.